Welcome to our channel. Tonight, we have 3 spine-chilling horror stories that will make you think twice before turning off the lights. We've taken these tales of terror and brought them to life in a way you've never seen before. Through the magic of claymation. Each twist, each turn, each horrifying reveal will unfold right before your eyes in a stop-motion spectacle of fear. So lock your doors, turn off your phones, and let's dive into the darkness. Sarah's phone slipped from her grasp, tumbling into the abyss of her cluttered bedroom. She watched helplessly as it disappeared into the shadows, the faint glow of the screen fading away. A sigh escaped her lips as she flicked on the light switch, hoping to illuminate the chaos. Nothing. Great, she muttered, plunging into the darkness. The room seemed to swallow the light, leaving her in an unsettling void. She felt along the floor, her fingers brushing against dust bunnies and stray Legos. Each touch sent a shiver through her, the cold floor adding to her unease. As she moved deeper into the room, a chill snaked up her spine. The air grew colder, and she could feel the weight of the darkness pressing in on her. A floorboard creaked behind her, and she whirled around, heart pounding. The sound echoed in the silence, amplifying her fear. Nothing. "Just the house settling," she whispered, her voice trembling. She tried to convince herself, but the fear lingered. Suddenly, a faint light flickered in the corner of the room, illuminating a grotesque figure standing just behind her. The light cast eerie shadows, making the figure even more menacing. Its eyes, 2 glowing embers, bored into her soul. They seemed to pierce through the darkness, locking her in place. Sarah tried to scream, but terror choked her voice, leaving her gasping for air. Her throat tightened and she could barely breathe. The figure took a step closer, its claymation features contorting into a sinister grin. Each step it took seemed to echo in the room, amplifying her dread. "You'll never leave this room," it rasped, its voice a chilling whisper that seemed to cling to the darkness. The words hung in the air, wrapping around her like a suffocating shroud. The GPS blinked innocently, its cheerful voice a stark contrast to the desolate landscape stretching out before her. The road seemed endless, a ribbon of cracked asphalt winding through an empty, barren world. Rerouting, it chirped, guiding her further onto the deserted highway. Each turn seemed to lead her deeper into isolation, the GPS's directions becoming more confusing with every mile. The setting sun cast long, eerie shadows, twisting the already unfamiliar surroundings into something menacing. The once warm hues of sunset now felt like a warning, a prelude to the encroaching darkness. She tried to turn around, but each turn led her back to the same stretch of cracked asphalt. It was as if the highway itself was a labyrinth, designed to keep her trapped. Panic gnawed at her as the engine sputtered and died, plunging her into an unnerving silence. The oppressive quiet was broken only by the distant sound of wind howling through the empty landscape. Then a tap on the window. It was soft at first, almost hesitant, but enough to send a shiver down her spine. She jumped, her gaze falling on a figure shrouded in shadows. The figure was barely visible, blending into the darkness that surrounded her. It stood just outside the driver's side door, its face hidden from view. The air grew colder, and she could feel her heart pounding in her chest. Another tap, more insistent this time. The sound was sharper, more demanding, as if the figure was growing impatient. She tried to start the engine, but it wouldn't budge. The key turned, but the car remained lifeless, refusing to offer her an escape. The figure slowly raised its hand, revealing a long, sharp object glinting in the moonlight. The sight of it sent a wave of terror through her, freezing her in place. The tapping grew louder, more frantic, and she realized with chilling certainty that she was trapped. The figure's presence was overwhelming, and she knew there was no way out. The ringing pierced the silence, jolting her awake from a deep sleep. The room was dark, and the only light came from the glowing screen of her phone. She fumbled for her phone, her heart racing as the caller ID displayed an unknown number. Who could be calling at this hour? A chill ran down her spine as she answered, a hesitant "hello" escaping her lips. The silence on the other end was deafening. Suddenly a raspy voice, barely a whisper, sent shivers down her spine. It was as if the voice was right next to her. "I know your name," it breathed. Then the line went dead. She stared at the phone, her mind racing with questions and fear. She tried to shake off the unease, but the calls continued, each one escalating in its creepiness. The voice seemed to know more about her with each call. "I know where you live," the voice hissed, and she could have sworn she saw a shadowy figure outside her window. Her heart pounded in her chest. Fear became her constant companion, her every thought consumed by the mysterious caller. She found herself constantly checking her phone, dreading the next call. One night the phone rang again, and against her better judgment, she answered. Her hand trembled as she brought the phone to her ear. "I'm right behind you," the voice whispered, sending a wave of terror crashing over her. She dropped the phone in fear, her breath quickening. She spun around, her blood running cold. The room was empty, but the fear was real, and it gripped her like never before. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more terrifying tales. We've got a whole graveyard of horror stories just waiting to be told. So be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single one. Sweet dreams, if you can sleep.